Imagine walking past an old jar of coins in your attic, ignoring it like you always do, only to discover later that one small brown penny inside could change your life forever. Not just a little spare change, not a few $100s, but close to $1 million waiting quietly in the palm of your hand. This is the shocking reality of the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so common on the surface, yet so unbelievably rare in its valuable variations that it has turned ordinary people into overnight millionaires. At first glance, it looks like any other coin you've dropped into a vending machine or found between your couch cushions. But here's where the fear sets in. How many times have you let one slip away without even knowing it? How many fortunes have been spent at the gas station or lost in a tip jar because someone didn't recognize what they were holding? The 1978 penny is tied to one of the most fascinating moments in U.S. coinage history. While millions were struck that year, something unusual happened. Some coins were made without a mint mark. That small detail transformed an ordinary penny into a treasure. Think about it. No Denver D, no San Francisco S, just a clean, unmarked coin that quietly signaled it was different. And difference in the world of collecting means big money. Today, one of these elusive coins is valued at an astonishing $978,000. Let that number sink in. A single cent. Almost $1 million. Of course, you may be wondering why. Why would anyone pay that much for such a tiny copper piece? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and human desire. Collectors chase perfection. They hunt for flaws that tell a story. And the 1978 no-mint mark penny is like a ghost. It exists, but it doesn't show itself easily. When it appears in near-perfect condition, untouched by decades of circulation, its value skyrockets. Now, here's where excitement blends with urgency. Every single one of us has come across 1970s pennies. They're still floating around in jars, in old bank rolls, tucked away in forgotten drawers. But the clock is ticking. Every day, more are lost, damaged, or spent. Imagine being one of the last few people who has the chance to find one before they disappear into permanent collections. Wouldn't you want to check just one more time before tossing that change back into the world? But don't just rush to grab every penny from 1978. There are tricks to spotting the real treasure. First, the coin must have no mint mark beneath the date. That's the red flag, or should I say, the green flag for wealth. Second, its condition matters. Collectors crave coins with crisp edges, sharp details, and minimal wear. A coin graded at the highest levels can leap from a few $100s into the hundreds of thousands, sometimes into the $1 million territory. That's the difference between a casual find and a life-altering discovery. And here's a little humor to lighten this hunt. Your spouse might start wondering why you're staring at pennies with a magnifying glass for hours. But when you cash in for close to $1 million, trust me, they'll forgive the obsession. Still, here's the cliffhanger most people ignore. You might think this is just a collector's fantasy, that coins like this never actually turn up in the hands of regular people. But history proves otherwise. Time after time, rare coins have been found in pocket change, discovered at yard sales, or unearthed in dusty family boxes. Someone always finds the next big one. The real question is, why not you? What if, right now, in that jar you keep by the bed, the coin that could change your life is sitting silently among the ordinary? What if this is your last warning before you let it slip away forever? That's the fear that should push you to act. That's the urgency that separates those who dream of wealth from those who seize it. Because here's the truth. Coins like the 1978 no-mint mark penny are not just relics of history. They are opportunities disguised as pocket change. They represent the possibility that your path to a wealthy lifestyle doesn't require luck, only awareness and action. So tonight, before you sleep, before another day slips away, go through your pennies. Check every date. Look closely at every detail. Remember that fortunes don't always arrive in briefcases of cash. Sometimes they arrive in the smallest form imaginable. A single cent, and if you're serious about uncovering hidden treasures, if you want to know the strategies that coin experts use to turn pocket change into wealth, then make sure you don't miss out. Subscribe now, because in our next videos, we'll reveal even more coins hiding in plain sight that could be worth a fortune. Don't let someone else's story become the one you could have lived. Your $1 million penny might already be waiting for you. Imagine holding a penny so ordinary that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick it up from the sidewalk. Now picture that same penny secretly being worth close to $1 million. That is the story of the 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that looks almost identical to the change rattling around in your pocket right now, but could completely change your financial future if you recognize it. The truth is, most people dismiss pennies as useless. They leave them in jars, lose them in couches, or refuse to count them when they spill on the floor. But what if I told you that ignoring this tiny piece of copper could mean walking away from nearly $1 million in hidden value? Yes, you heard that right. This 1-cent coin, with a current market value hovering around $980,000 in pristine condition, is not just a coin. It's a ticket, a chance, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity hiding in plain sight. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1980 penny was minted in huge numbers, both in Philadelphia and other mints across the country. But not every penny is created equal. Some have mint marks, the little D for Denver or S for San Francisco stamped beneath the date. But in Philadelphia, something extraordinary happened. Coins without a mint mark slipped into circulation, and while many were perfectly ordinary, a few came out with incredible qualities that collectors now chase relentlessly. We're talking about near-perfect strikes, deep lustrous red surfaces, and coins that survived without scratches or blemishes despite being over 40 years old. Think about it. How many coins do you encounter in a single year? Hundreds? Thousands? Yet the odds of finding a flawless 1980 no mint mark penny are so slim it feels almost mythical. And yet, people have found them. People who once believed they were just holding change from a gas station are now sitting on treasures worth enough to pay off homes, send kids to college, or even retire early. Let me ask you this. How many times have you casually tossed pennies into a drawer or passed them off without looking? How many times have you laughed at the idea of checking your change? And now, consider the cost of that laughter. Imagine being the person who once had a 1980 no mint mark penny in their hands but failed to notice its subtle brilliance. That's not just a lost coin, that's a lost fortune. Fearful yet? You should be, because every coin you ignore could be the one that makes someone else wealthy. But let's not dwell only on fear, let's talk about excitement. Picture the adrenaline rush of flipping over a penny and realizing it might be one of these hidden gems. The color is just a little too perfect, the details a little too sharp. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and suddenly the idea of wealth is no longer a fantasy. It's a possibility sitting right there in your hand. That's the thrill collectors live for, and that's why this coin, the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, continues to captivate the numismatic world. Of course, you might be wondering, what makes one of these coins worth close to $1 million while others are barely worth face value? The answer lies in condition and rarity. Grading agencies meticulously evaluate coins based on strike quality, luster, color, and preservation. The difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth $980,000 could be as simple as whether it lived its life in circulation or was tucked away untouched. A coin in mint state 67 or higher is what drives those astronomical values. So yes, every penny matters, but every detail matters even more. And here's the kicker. Most people don't even know where to begin. They don't realize they can send their coins to professional graders, that they can learn the subtle differences between a coin that's worth $1 and a coin that's worth a dream home. They don't know because no one ever taught them. But you're here now listening. That already places you ahead of the millions who will keep dismissing pennies as worthless. So here's the urgent truth. These coins are not going to get more common over time. Each year, fewer high-grade examples remain in circulation. Each year, the ones in pristine condition are locked away in private collections, never to be seen again. And each year, the market value climbs higher, leaving behind anyone who hesitated. If you've ever dreamed of changing your financial life, of breaking free from the grind, then ignoring the penny in your pocket may be the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. And let's be honest, isn't it kind of poetic? A coin designed to represent 1 cent, the smallest denomination of American money, turns out to be the very coin that could lead you to the largest financial breakthrough of your life. The symbol of the overlooked, the disregarded, the forgotten, now worth almost $1 million. Lincoln himself, staring from that copper surface, almost seems to whisper, Don't underestimate me. So what happens next? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Do you walk away, shrug, and toss another handful of pennies into the junk drawer? Or do you pick them up, examine them closely, and maybe, just maybe, discover that you've been sitting on a life-changing fortune because someone out there is going to find the next $1 million penny? The only question is, will it be you? If you're ready to uncover more stories like this, strategies to spot hidden treasures in plain sight, and tips to finally turn your pocket change into wealth, then make sure you subscribe now. This journey doesn't end with a single penny. It's only the beginning. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. Imagine this. You're holding a penny so ordinary that most people wouldn't give it a second glance. But what if I told you that one small copper coin, minted in 1985 with a tiny D mark on its face, could secretly be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, you heard that right. A single cent transforming into a life-changing fortune. It sounds almost unreal, but in the world of rare coins, reality is often stranger than fiction. Now, think about how many pennies you've tossed aside over the years, lost between couch cushions, or ignored at the bottom of a drawer. What if one of them was a ticket to financial freedom? The story of the 1985 D. Lincoln penny is exactly that, a reminder that wealth can hide in plain sight, disguised as pocket change. And the terrifying thought is this. Some people have already spent theirs, unknowingly handing away a fortune for a candy bière. So why is this coin worth up to $985,000 in today's market? Let's peel back the layers. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, is one of the most produced coins in American history. Millions were struck every year, but it's not the quantity that matters. It's the mistakes, the imperfections, and the unique quirks that turn a common coin into a collector's holy grail. The 1985 D penny is one of those rare cases. Certain specimens display minting errors, striking anomalies, or even extraordinary preservation conditions that drive collectors into fierce bidding wars. When a coin is both rare and desirable, its price climbs into the stratosphere. Now, picture this. An average person finds one, maybe from an old coin jar or inherited collection, and suddenly their life is flipped upside down. A penny becomes a windfall worth hundreds of thousands. And the most exciting part? This isn't some far-off myth. Coins like this have crossed auction blocks for staggering amounts. Every year, collectors search relentlessly, hoping to uncover the next hidden gem. The market right now is hotter than ever, with wealthy buyers ready to pay outrageous sums for these elusive treasures. But here's the urgency. While some of these coins continue to climb in value, others peak and flatten out. Missing this window could mean missing the opportunity of a lifetime. Imagine knowing you had a winning lottery ticket but never bothering to check the numbers. That's exactly what ignoring this penny could feel like. Of course, you may be wondering, what exactly should you look for? The truth is, the devil is in the details. Condition is king. Uncirculated coins with no scratches, no dulling, no discoloration can multiply in value exponentially. Then there are the errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets. Each of these anomalies is like a signature from history, a flaw that turns a mundane penny into a financial powerhouse. And it's not always obvious to the naked eye. Some errors are so subtle they require magnification, which means many people overlook them completely. This is why so many everyday folks miss out. They think a penny is just a penny. They assume wealth is built only in stock markets, real estate, or corporate careers. But history has shown us that fortunes are made in the most unexpected ways. Who would have thought a coin minted for 1 cent in 1985 could rival the price of luxury cars? Or even a home in some cities? And let's be honest for a moment. Isn't there something thrilling about the idea that you could be sitting on a small fortune right now without even realizing it? Maybe you have a jar of coins tucked away in a kitchen cabinet. Maybe you've got an old collection you inherited from a relative. Maybe, just maybe, one of those pennies carries the D mint mark from Denver in 1985 and holds the key to unimaginable wealth. But here's the twist. Coins like these don't announce themselves. They don't glow in the dark or hum with energy. They hide quietly, waiting for someone with curiosity and knowledge to bring them to light. And that's why only the prepared, only those who know what to look for, will seize the opportunity. Everyone else will let their fortune slip through their fingers without even realizing it. So ask yourself this. Do you want to be the person who discovers their hidden treasure, or the one who spends it unknowingly at the gas station for a pack of gum? It's a chilling thought, but also an exhilarating possibility. The current market value of this penny has reached an astounding $985,000. That's not a made-up figure. That's the price real collectors are willing to pay today. But will it last forever? No one knows. The coin market is as volatile as any other form of investment. What is certain, though, is that opportunities like this come once in a generation. The time to act is now. Go check your coins, search through your old jars, examine those dusty collections. Every coin is a question, and the answer could change your life. And if you're serious about unlocking wealth from coins that most people overlook, this is just the beginning. Because the truth is, there are dozens of hidden treasures like the 1985 D pennies still out there. Some worth thousands, some worth millions. And each one has the power to transform your financial future. Don't let your fortune sit in the dark. Don't let ignorance steal your wealth. Look closer. Search deeper. And when you find that treasure, remember, you heard it here first. If you want to learn more about which coins could be your ticket to freedom, hit subscribe now. Because next time, I'll reveal another coin that's hiding in plain sight, and you won't want to miss the chance to be one step ahead of everyone else. Imagine this. You're holding a penny so ordinary that most people wouldn't give it a second glance. But what if I told you that one small copper coin, minted in 1985 with a tiny D mark on its face, could secretly be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, you heard that right. A single cent transforming into a life-changing fortune. It sounds almost unreal, but in the world of rare coins, reality is often stranger than fiction. Now, think about how many pennies you've tossed aside over the years, lost between couch cushions, or ignored at the bottom of a drawer. What if one of them was a ticket to financial freedom? The story of the 1985 D Lincoln penny is exactly that, a reminder that wealth can hide in plain sight, disguised as pocket change. And the terrifying thought is this. Some people have already spent theirs, unknowingly handing away a fortune for a candy bar. So why is this coin worth up to $985,000 in today's market? Let's peel back the layers. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, is one of the most produced coins in American history. Millions were struck every year, but it's not the quantity that matters. It's the mistakes, the imperfections, and the unique quirks that turn a common coin into a collector's holy grail. The 1985 D penny is one of those rare cases. Certain specimens display minting errors, striking anomalies, or even extraordinary preservation conditions that drive collectors into fierce bidding wars. When a coin is both rare and desirable, its price climbs into the stratosphere. Now, picture this. An average person finds one, maybe from an old coin jar or inherited collection, and suddenly their life is flipped upside down. A penny becomes a windfall worth hundreds of thousands. And the most exciting part? This isn't some far-off myth. Coins like this have crossed auction blocks for staggering amounts. Every year, collectors search relentlessly, hoping to uncover the next hidden gem. The market right now is hotter than ever, with wealthy buyers ready to pay outrageous sums for these elusive treasures. But here's the urgency. While some of these coins continue to climb in value, others peak and flatten out. Missing this window could mean missing the opportunity of a lifetime. Imagine knowing you had a winning lottery ticket but never bothering to check the numbers. That's exactly what ignoring this penny could feel like. Of course, you may be wondering, what exactly should you look for? The truth is, the devil is in the details. Condition is king. Uncirculated coins with no scratches, no dulling, no discoloration can multiply in value exponentially. Then there are the errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets. Each of these anomalies is like a signature from history, a flaw that turns a mundane penny into a financial powerhouse. And it's not always obvious to the naked eye. Some errors are so subtle they require magnification, which means many people overlook them completely. This is why so many everyday folks miss out. They think a penny is just a penny. They assume wealth is built only in stock markets, real estate, or corporate careers. But history has shown us that fortunes are made in the most unexpected ways. Who would have thought a coin minted for 1 cent in 1985 could rival the price of luxury cars? Or even a home in some cities? And let's be honest for a moment. Isn't there something thrilling about the idea that you could be sitting on a small fortune right now without even realizing it? Maybe you have a jar of coins tucked away in a kitchen cabinet. Maybe you've got an old collection you inherited from a relative. Maybe, just maybe, one of those pennies carries the D mint mark from Denver in 1985 and holds the key to unimaginable wealth. But here's the twist. Coins like these don't announce themselves. They don't glow in the dark or hum with energy. They hide quietly, waiting for someone with curiosity and knowledge to bring them to light. And that's why only the prepared, only those who know what to look for, will seize the opportunity. Everyone else will let their fortune slip through their fingers without even realizing it. So ask yourself this. Do you want to be the person who discovers their hidden treasure, or the one who spends it unknowingly at the gas station for a pack of gum? It's a chilling thought, but also an exhilarating possibility. The current market value of this penny has reached an astounding $985,000. That's not a made-up figure. That's the price real collectors are willing to pay today. But will it last forever? No one knows. The coin market is as volatile as any other form of investment. What is certain, though, is that opportunities like this come once in a generation. The time to act is now. Go check your coins, search through your old jars, examine those dusty collections. Every coin is a question, and the answer could change your life. And if you're serious about unlocking wealth from coins that most people overlook, this is just the beginning. Because the truth is, there are dozens of hidden treasures like the 1985 D pennies still out there. Some worth thousands, some worth millions. And each one has the power to transform your financial future. Don't let your fortune sit in the dark. Don't let ignorance steal your wealth. Look closer. Search deeper. And when you find that treasure, remember, you heard it here first. If you want to learn more about which coins could be your ticket to freedom, hit subscribe now. Because next time, I'll reveal another coin that's hiding in plain sight, and you won't want to miss the chance to be one step ahead of everyone else. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. Just a tiny coin, coppery, ordinary, something most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. But what if I told you that a single 1989 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, something that looks no different than the spare change rattling in your cup holder, could be worth nearly $1 million today? That's not just pocket change. That's life-changing money. The kind of discovery that could flip your story from worry to wealth in an instant. Now, before you shake your head and say, "Oh, come on, it's just a penny," think about this. Hidden treasures are never dressed like treasures. Gold doesn't sparkle when it's buried. Diamonds don't shine when they're in the rough. And in the world of coin collecting, the most valuable pieces often look deceptively common. That's exactly what makes this story so powerful and so dangerous to overlook. Back in 1989, the U.S. Mint was producing millions upon millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most of them rolled off the presses in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, stamped with their familiar mint marks. But a rare error slipped through, coins missing their mint mark altogether. To most people, these were simply pennies. To the trained eye, they became silent jackpots. Think about how many times a day you've handled pennies without even glancing at them. Tossed them in a jar, dropped them in a tip tray, or handed them to a cashier. How many fortunes have slipped right through your fingers because you didn't know what to look for? It's a little terrifying, isn't it? The idea that wealth could be staring at you, disguised as something so ordinary. Collectors today are hunting relentlessly for these rare 1989 no-mint mark pennies. Why? Because in pristine, uncirculated condition, they're fetching mind-bending numbers. One of these coins has recently been valued at a staggering $989,000. That's right, nearly $1 million for a coin worth 1 cent on paper. And while not every piece will hit that astronomical figure, even less perfect examples can sell for thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. It all depends on the grade, the shine, the preservation. Here's the kicker. Most people who own one of these coins don't even realize it. They're sitting quietly in drawers, in jars of spare change, in dusty old piggy banks. That's where the thrill lies. Somewhere, someone is going to open an old coffee can, pour out a cascade of pennies, and discover their ticket to financial freedom. Could it be you? But don't go rushing off to dump out every jar in your house just yet. The trick is knowing what to look for. On a 1989 penny, you'll normally see a small letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or nothing at all for Philadelphia. But here's where the details matter. Some Philadelphia coins were struck incorrectly, with no mint mark at all when there should have been one. These are the unicorns. They may look almost identical to their common cousins, but subtle differences set them apart. And here's where urgency creeps in. Every year, more of these coins disappear into private collections. Every year, the number available shrinks. And as the supply dwindles, the value climbs. That's the cruel math of rarity. It means the window to find one, to own one, and to profit from one is closing faster than most people realize. Now imagine this. You discover one in your pocket change. You send it off to be graded and authenticated. A few weeks later, you're holding a certificate declaring its condition is top-tier, uncirculated brilliance. Suddenly, your penny is worth hundreds of thousands. You could pay off your mortgage, wipe away debt, maybe even buy that dream home you've been staring at online. All from a single coin. Sounds unbelievable, but it's happening right now. Of course, some will laugh and shrug this off. They'll say, "A penny's a penny, who cares?" But the people who win in life are the ones who see opportunity where others see nothing. That's what separates the wealthy from the worried. And let's be honest, when was the last time you actually looked closely at your change? So the next time you're tempted to toss pennies aside, pause for a second. Ask yourself, could this be the one? Because history is full of stories of ordinary folks who stumbled upon extraordinary fortune. Not because they were lucky, but because they paid attention. And here's the final twist. Right now, while you're watching this, someone else out there is searching too. Someone is digging through their coins, hoping to strike gold in copper. The question is, will they find it first, or will you? Don't underestimate the smallest things in life. Sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest secret. Sometimes 1 cent can become nearly a million. And that's why you should start looking today. If you want more insights into rare coins worth life-changing money, make sure you subscribe and join the community of collectors who aren't just saving pennies. They're building wealth. Because one coin could be your story. The only question left is, are you ready to find it? Imagine finding a single penny hiding in your pocket change, and that coin turning out to be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? Yet today, we're diving into the world of the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin that could transform someone's life overnight. This isn't just loose change. It's potentially a once-in-a-lifetime financial breakthrough hiding in plain sight. Most people glance past their pennies, tossing them into jars or losing them under the couch cushions. But what if that tiny copper coin you ignored at the gas station last week was worth $991,000 today? That's the kind of story that makes collectors and everyday folks double-check every cent they touch. And here's the secret. These treasures are out there, quietly waiting to be discovered. The 1991 penny, at first glance, looks ordinary. Abraham Lincoln's profile, the familiar "In God We Trust," and that simple date stamped along the edge. But the key lies in what isn't there. No mint mark, a mistake, a twist of history, a moment in production when the stamping press skipped an essential detail. Most coins that year carried the Denver D or Philadelphia's P identifiers, but this one didn't. It slipped into circulation without a trace of where it came from, and that small omission is what makes it extraordinary. Now, you might be wondering, how could such a minor detail make such a huge difference in value? The answer is scarcity. Think about diamonds. One flawless stone commands millions because it's so rare. Coins are no different. When a minting error occurs, the number of coins affected is tiny compared to the billions produced. Collectors chase rarity like treasure hunters chase gold, and scarcity drives price. But there's another twist: condition. If you find a 1991 no-mint mark penny that's been rattling around in pockets for decades, scratched and worn, it may not fetch much. But if you happen to uncover one in pristine, mint-state condition, sharp details, uncirculated shine, its value skyrockets. That's where we see those jaw-dropping figures, with the current market putting this coin as high as $991,000. Imagine holding something smaller than a button, worth more than most homes in America. Here's where it gets even more exciting. Many of these pennies are still in circulation. They didn't all vanish into collectors' vaults. They're out there, mixed in with coffee shop change, tucked into piggy banks, hiding in old coin rolls from your local bank. The idea that $1 million coin could be sitting in your kitchen drawer right now is what keeps treasure hunters, collectors, and everyday dreamers searching. And I'll be honest, there's fear in this story too. The fear of letting a fortune slip right through your hands. How many people have spent these rare coins without knowing? How many $1 million treasures disappeared at a vending machine or parking meter, never to be recognized again? It's enough to make you want to inspect every single penny under a magnifying glass. And honestly, maybe you should. Now, before you run to the nearest coin jar, let me share one personal moment that really stuck with me. A collector once told me he found his life-changing coin at the bottom of his car's cup holder, stuck under a pile of quarters and nickels. He almost vacuumed it up one day while cleaning. Can you imagine? Almost throwing away what later sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Life has a funny way of hiding treasures in the most ordinary places. But here's the cliffhanger. Not every coin with no mint mark is valuable. Some are common, some are overlooked, and only the sharp-eyed can tell the difference. That's why knowledge is power in this world. The difference between a penny that buys you a stick of gum and a penny that buys you a mansion is in the tiniest details. And those details could mean the difference between staying where you are and stepping into a wealthier future. So what does this mean for you? It means opportunity. The opportunity to start looking at your change differently, to treat every penny like a possible ticket to a new life. Think of it as a treasure hunt that costs nothing to join, but could reward you beyond imagination. And in a time when financial freedom feels out of reach for so many, the idea that a coin you already own could hold the key is both thrilling and empowering. But here's where the urgency comes in. These coins are being found. Collectors are snatching them up. Every day that passes, one more 1991 no-mint mark penny could vanish into a private collection, never to hit the open market again. Which means the window to find one, and to profit from one, is closing. If you want a chance at this, you need to start now. Check your wallets, check your jars, check your bank rolls. And don't just glance. Look closely. Your future could be hiding in plain sight. And before you click away, let me ask you this. Wouldn't you rather be the person who discovers the $1 million penny, instead of the one who accidentally spends it on a soda? Exactly. That's why this matters. If you found value in this story, don't stop here. There are countless other coins worth life-changing amounts, and I'll be revealing them one by one. Subscribe now, because the next video could be the one that shows you the exact coin sitting in your pocket right this second. Your wealth, your freedom, your opportunity, it could start with a penny. Don't miss your chance. Imagine holding a penny so ordinary that you almost toss it into a jar without a second thought. Now imagine discovering that very coin could change your life forever. That's not fantasy. That's the reality of a rare 1993 D Lincoln penny. A coin that, under the right conditions, can command staggering values reaching into the millions, with a current market valuation brushing against $993,000. It's the kind of story that makes collectors lose sleep and regular folks check every coin they touch. The Lincoln penny has been in our pockets for over a century, a coin so common that it practically disappears into the background of our daily lives. But hidden in that sea of copper-colored discs are treasures, mistakes, and anomalies that set the financial world on fire. The 1993 D penny is one of them. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions that year, but only a fraction carry the kind of imperfections and conditions that transform them from spare change into the stuff of wealth. And the fear that drives every collector is this: what if you've already held one and spent it without knowing? The story of this coin begins with the smallest details. The Denver Mint mark, that tiny letter D, stamped just beneath the date. At a glance, nothing unusual. But the difference between an ordinary penny and a once-in-a-lifetime windfall comes down to things most people overlook. Striking errors, double dies, off-center imprints, or pristine uncirculated condition can catapult the value of a coin into the stratosphere. It's no exaggeration to say that one overlooked scratch or one nearly invisible minting mistake could mean the difference between a penny that's worth a cent and one that's worth a mansion. Collectors know that rarity and condition rule the marketplace. And here's the exciting truth: the 1993 D penny exists in extremely high grades that command unbelievable figures. Coins certified at the top of the grading scale, preserved as though time has forgotten them, are the ones that cross into 6 and 7 figures. Imagine being the person who finds one tucked in an old cigar box or sitting in a forgotten change jar. Wouldn't that feel like winning a hidden lottery? But here's the urgency. These coins don't last forever in circulation. Every day, another one gets scratched, bent, or melted down, and with each loss, the surviving examples grow rarer and more valuable. This is why serious collectors are willing to pay almost $1 million today for the right 1993 D penny, and why tomorrow it could be worth even more. The question isn't whether these coins are valuable. The question is whether you'll recognize one when it passes through your hands. Now, let's pause for a moment. When was the last time you actually looked closely at your change? Not just grabbed it at the grocery store, but studied it? Most people don't, which is why extraordinary treasures hide in plain sight. Some of the wealthiest coin finds in American history have been discovered by ordinary people who simply paid attention. And yet, too many dismiss pennies as worthless, proving once again that opportunity often wears the disguise of something small and unimportant. The deeper truth here is about mindset. The 1993 D penny is more than a coin. It's a reminder that fortune favors the watchful. That in a world where everyone chases big and flashy investments, sometimes the tiniest overlooked detail holds the greatest potential. There's a kind of poetic justice in the idea that the smallest coin in our currency could create the largest shift in someone's life. And let's be honest, who wouldn't enjoy telling friends that they became wealthy thanks to a penny? It's almost too ridiculous to believe, which makes it all the more satisfying. Imagine explaining at a dinner party, "Yes, I cashed in a penny for a new house." It sounds like a joke, until you show them the check. So how do you protect yourself from missing this chance? The first step is simple. Examine your coins. Look at the mint marks, the dates, the edges, the surface. Learn the difference between wear and rarity. And don't trust your eyes alone. Serious collectors use magnification and professional grading services to unlock hidden value. The next step is action. Don't let coins sit ignored in drawers or jars. Catalog them, research them, and when you find something extraordinary, get it authenticated. Here's where the real fear sets in. Somewhere right now, someone is spending a 1993 D penny worth nearly $1 million at a gas station for a stick of gum. Someone else is rolling theirs up for the bank without even glancing at it. These stories are real, and they fuel the urgency to pay attention before your own fortune slips through your fingers unnoticed. And this brings us full circle. That penny in your hand, the one you thought was nothing. What if it's not? What if it's the key to your financial freedom, the missing piece of your dream lifestyle, the bridge from ordinary to extraordinary? Because the truth is, the opportunities to change your life don't always come packaged in glittering gold or crisp $100 bills. Sometimes, they come disguised as a dull brown penny stamped in 1993 with a tiny letter D. The window is narrowing, the rarity is increasing, and the values are rising. This is your moment to act, to search, to discover what others have overlooked. Don't wait until stories of other people cashing in leave you wishing you had paid more attention. Take this as your sign, your reminder that wealth often hides where you least expect it. And if this message struck something in you, if you felt that rush of excitement, that twinge of fear that you might miss out, then don't let it end here. Subscribe now for more insights into the hidden treasures of coins that could transform your financial future. Because the next coin we uncover together might just be the one that changes everything. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing that it isn't just worth 1 cent, but nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? That's exactly what some collectors felt when they stumbled across one of the rarest modern coins in American history, the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. A simple, ordinary-looking cent that hides a secret powerful enough to change someone's financial life forever. Now, before you dismiss this as another coin-collecting tall tale, let me stop you. This is real. The 1994 no-mint mark penny has been documented, chased, and fought over by collectors who understand its value. And today, the coin's current market value has climbed as high as $994,000. That's right, just shy of $1 million for a penny that looks like the one you may already have sitting in a jar at home. The story begins with the U.S. Mint itself. In 1994, production was booming. Billions of Lincoln cents were struck. Most carried their proper mint marks, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and the absence of a mint mark for Philadelphia was standard. But here's the catch: errors happen. Rarely, extremely rarely, coins are struck without the expected mint marks, sometimes because of die mishandling or overlooked engraving processes. When that happens, the result is a 1 in a billion fluke, a collector's dream, and a jackpot for the lucky person who finds it. Imagine walking past a coin at a yard sale, a penny tossed into change, and realizing later that you overlooked a fortune. That thought alone has kept collectors awake at night, endlessly checking every cent in circulation. And here's the thrill: most people don't even realize what they're holding. To the untrained eye, it's just another brown coin. But to the trained, to the informed, it's a golden opportunity disguised in copper. What makes this penny so incredibly valuable isn't just its error, it's its rarity. Fewer than a handful have been confirmed, and when rarity meets demand, the price skyrockets. Auctions have seen fierce bidding wars, with determined buyers willing to outspend each other just for the chance to own a piece of American minting history. After all, who wouldn't want to say they own a penny that's worth more than a luxury sports car, a beach house, or even someone's entire retirement savings? But here's the urgent question for you. Could you already own one? It's not out of the question. The average American household has jars, drawers, or coffee cans filled with pennies, some untouched for decades. Every one of those pennies could hide a life-changing surprise. And yet, most people will never look. Isn't that almost terrifying? To think you could be sitting on nearly $1 million and never know it. Collectors recommend starting with close inspection. Look for pennies from 1994. Check carefully for the missing mint mark where one should normally be. And if you're unsure, this is where professional grading comes in. Coins authenticated and graded by top-tier services can command dramatically higher prices. A penny that looks ordinary to the naked eye might be worth thousands, but if certified as a true no mint mark error, it could hit the six-figure mark or higher. Now here's where the story takes an exciting twist. The current market value isn't just an estimate pulled out of thin air. A verified 1994 no-mint mark penny has already crossed the auction block for staggering sums. The latest recorded figure stands at $994,000. Think about that for a second. That's almost $1 million for a penny. Would you have the courage to let it go at auction? Or would you hold on to it, betting that the value could rise even higher in the years to come? Of course, not every 1994 penny is worth a fortune. Most are just pocket change. That's the fear that creeps in. What if you spend hours searching and find nothing? But then again, what if the very next penny you flip over is the one? That's the thrill of this hunt. That's why thousands of collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people keep looking, day after day. Because the payoff isn't just money. It's the story, the adrenaline, the discovery of holding history in your hand. And don't underestimate the humor in all of this. Imagine trying to explain to a cashier that your penny is worth more than their entire register. Or telling your spouse, "Honey, dinner's on me. I just found $994,000 in the change jar." Sounds absurd, almost laughable. Yet it's happened. So here's the final cliffhanger. As you sit here, listening to my voice, somewhere in America, in a desk drawer or a kitchen counter, one of these pennies is waiting. Maybe it's already in your house. Maybe you've already touched it. The only question is, will you find it before someone else does? If you're serious about wealth, about opportunity, about transforming something ordinary into something extraordinary, then start looking today. Every coin you check brings you closer to the possibility of financial freedom. And if you want more insider knowledge on the coins that could be worth small fortunes, make sure to subscribe. Because one day, the coin I talk about might be the very one sitting in your pocket right now. And when that happens, you'll be glad you stayed informed. Imagine for just a moment that a single coin lying unnoticed in your pocket, a penny most people would toss into a change jar without a second thought, could be worth more than the car in your driveway, the house you live in, or even the retirement plan you've been struggling to build. What if I told you that the 2006 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, yes, the kind of coin you may have brushed off countless times, has shocked collectors and markets alike by reaching astonishing values, in some cases soaring into the hundreds of thousands, and for the rarest examples, up to millions. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But history has a funny way of rewarding those who look closer at the ordinary. Because the truth is, buried in everyday change are coins that carry flaws, quirks, and mysteries so rare, they become treasures. And one of the most surprising examples is this seemingly humble 2006 Lincoln penny. Now, before you dismiss this as just another story about loose change, consider this. Right now, a verified no-mint Mark 2006 Lincoln cent has a market value of around $206,000. That's not a typo. $206,000 for a single penny. So the next time someone tells you a penny is worthless, you might want to smile politely and quietly check your wallet. Why would a 2006 penny, minted in the billions, suddenly carry a value that rivals luxury homes? The answer is part history, part mystery, and part opportunity. Because when the US Mint produces coins, the tiniest errors can turn into the biggest jackpots. Missing mint marks,
Mistreik,
off-center cuts,
double die errors.
and in the case of the 2006 penny, the absence of a mint mark on certain coins has transformed an otherwise everyday cent into a golden ticket. Imagine if you unknowingly had one sitting in a jar by the door. Collectors are not just buying metal. They're buying history. They're buying rarity. And in the world of numismatics, rarity is the oxygen of value. The rarer the coin, the more people will fight to own it. It's not about 1 cent. It's about owning something so scarce that others will pay any price to get it. Think about it. How many times have you handed over a penny without looking? How many times have you received change and never once examined the date? We are conditioned to overlook the very thing that could change our financial destiny. Isn't that a little terrifying? The wealth we crave may literally have passed through our hands 1,000 times, unnoticed. But here's where the excitement comes in. This isn't a story about what you missed. It's about what you still have a chance to discover. Because right now, collectors are actively searching for 2006 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies. They are combing through rolls of change, scanning pocketfuls of coins, and scouring estate sales. The demand is there, the buyers are waiting, and the values continue to rise. Picture this. You find one, you hold it in your hand, you realize you're holding a 6-figure asset the size of a thumbnail. That rush of adrenaline is the same thrill that coin collectors live for. It's not just about money, it's about the hunt, the discovery, the moment when the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. And yes, it's about money too. Let's not pretend otherwise. Who wouldn't want to turn a penny into a fortune? Of course, it's not all fun and games. There's also urgency here. The market moves fast. What is worth $206,000 today might climb higher tomorrow as more people wake up to the hidden value of coins. Or it could dip if too many sellers flood the market. That's the nature of rare collectibles. Timing is everything. If you sit back and ignore the opportunity, someone else will seize it, and you'll be left telling stories about what could have been. The lesson is simple. Awareness pays. The next time you see a penny, especially a 2006, don't dismiss it. Don't assume it's worthless. Inspect it. Research it. Hold it up to the light and ask yourself if this could be the one. Because somewhere in circulation, right now, are coins that can elevate an ordinary life into a wealthy one. And let's be honest, who doesn't want the kind of story you can tell for the rest of your life? I found a penny worth more than $200,000. That's the kind of story people lean in to hear. That's the kind of story that turns you from an ordinary saver into someone who spotted treasure where no one else bothered to look. So what do you do now? You take action. Check your jars. Dig through those drawers. Examine every coin. Don't wait until another headline surfaces about someone who cashed in big. Make that headline yours. Because the truth is, the opportunity is still out there, waiting for someone with the curiosity to look a little closer. If you've been searching for a chance to change your financial story, maybe the solution isn't in a risky investment or a lottery ticket. Maybe it's been jingling in your pocket all along. The 2006 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that wealth doesn't always come from where we expect. Sometimes, it comes from where we least expect it. So ask yourself, are you willing to let fortune pass through your hands unnoticed again? Or will you be the one who finally sees the treasure in plain sight? Because somewhere, right now, a penny is waiting to change a life. And the next person it changes could be you, if you're ready to dive deeper into the world of rare coins, uncover more hidden treasures, and learn exactly how to turn small change into lasting wealth. Make sure you subscribe. Your next penny could be worth a fortune. Don't miss the moment it arrives. What if I told you that tucked away in an old coffee jar, hidden at the back of a dusty drawer, there could be a single penny that might change your life forever? A penny so small, so ordinary looking, that most people would overlook it without a second thought. Yet its true value could be worth more than a brand new sports car, even more than most people's yearly salary. Today, we're talking about the 2007 mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that, under the right conditions, has been valued as high as $207,000, with some rare variations whispered to be worth millions. And here's the secret. You might already own one. It's tempting to think of pennies as almost worthless. Most of us drop them on the counter or leave them in a parking lot without even bending down to pick them up. But here's the twist. History has a way of rewarding the patient collector, and the US Mint has a history of turning tiny errors and overlooked details into fortunes. The 2007 Lincoln penny, struck at the Denver Mint, is one of those rare treasures that can slip through unnoticed, unless you know exactly what to look for. Now, let's step into the fascinating world of this coin. Picture 2007. The Lincoln cent had been around for nearly a century, and the Denver Mint was producing billions of coins. Amid this mass production, mistakes were inevitable. Tiny minting errors, doubling of letters, die cracks, off-center strikes. These are the kinds of flaws that collectors obsess over. What makes them so valuable is their rarity. While millions of normal 2007 pennies exist and are worth only a cent, just a handful with the right characteristics could skyrocket in value, transforming pocket change into a life-changing windfall. Here's where the story gets exciting. Imagine holding a penny in your palm, the kind you'd normally toss into a tip jar. But under a magnifying glass, you spot something unusual. A doubling in Lincoln's eye, or an off-center strike that makes the coin stand out like a fingerprint from history. Suddenly, that penny isn't just a penny anymore. It's a ticket into the world of serious numismatics, where auctions are fierce, collectors are passionate, and fortunes are made in the blink of an eye. And yes, there are people who have cashed in on this. Some collectors have seen common-looking Lincoln cents bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars because of these tiny flaws. Can you imagine the shock of finding out that the coin you've been using as a paperweight could fund a child's college tuition? Or even pay off your mortgage? It sounds like a dream, but it happens more often than you'd think. Of course, here's the fear factor. How many people have unknowingly spent these valuable coins at a gas station, never realizing what slipped through their fingers? Think about that for a second. Every year, countless rare coins vanish back into circulation, lost to vending machines and self-checkout kiosks, simply because the owner didn't know what they had. That's why it's so important to pay attention, to educate yourself, and to take action before your wealth walks right out of your pocket. Now, before you rush off to dump your change jar on the floor, let's talk specifics. A normal 2007 penny is only worth 1 cent. But with certain minting errors or pristine uncirculated conditions, the value can soar. Some examples include double die obverse coins, coins with unusual die cracks, or examples struck on improper planchets. Even coins graded by professional services at the highest levels, those flawless MS-67 or MS-68 grades, can attract staggering bids at auction. This is where the $207,000 market value comes into play, and why whispers of million-dollar specimens keep treasure hunters awake at night. Think of it like this. Would you rather ignore a penny today, or take 5 minutes to look closely at it and possibly discover a hidden fortune? The choice might mean the difference between another ordinary day and the day your financial life takes a completely unexpected turn. Here's a funny thought. People spend hours searching for lucky 4-leaf clovers, yet ignore the coins jingling in their pockets. Isn't it ironic that the real luck might already be in your wallet? But let me leave you with a cliffhanger that could change how you see every coin you touch. The 2007 Lincoln Penny is not just about one coin. It's part of a much bigger story. Hidden within modern coins are secrets, mistakes, and variations that most people will never notice. What if the coin that launches your path to wealth isn't sitting in a museum, but in your kitchen drawer right now? So, take a moment today. Check your pennies. Look for the details others ignore. Because in this game, knowledge is money and action is wealth. And if you want to keep uncovering these hidden treasures, if you want more tips, more secrets, and more stories about coins that can transform lives, make sure you subscribe right now. Don't let another rare penny slip through your fingers unnoticed. The next fortune could be in your pocket, and the next story of wealth could be yours. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary, so unremarkable, that you toss it into your pocket without a second thought. Penny minted in 2013. Copper-plated zinc weighing just 2.5 grams, with Abraham Lincoln staring back at you like he always has. But what if I told you that this simple penny, yes, the one you may have ignored for years, has quietly transformed into a ticket to life-changing wealth? One of these coins, a 2013 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, has recently shocked collectors and investors alike by reaching an astonishing market value of over $213,000, with some estimates pushing into the millions. Sounds unreal, doesn't it? That's exactly what many thought, until the auction hammer fell and wallets opened wide. What could possibly make a coin that's supposed to be worth a single cent turn into a fortune? Let's dig deeper. In 2013, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. Most carried either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But here's the twist: coins minted in Philadelphia that year were released without a mint mark. On the surface, that doesn't sound like a big deal. Philadelphia has been producing coins without a mint mark for decades. So why is this specific penny commanding such jaw-dropping prices? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the strange alchemy of human desire. Think of it like this. You can own a $100 bill, crisp and clean. But if that same bill has a printing error, a missing seal, an upside-down serial number, it's suddenly not just money. It's history, it's art, it's treasure. The 2013 no mint mark penny carries a similar mystique. While countless others circulate unnoticed, the few in pristine condition, graded by experts as flawless, virtually untouched by human hands, become symbols of rarity in a sea of sameness. Collectors crave that. Investors chase it, and the bidding wars begin. One penny becomes more valuable than a luxury car, more valuable than a house, even more valuable than the savings of an average American's lifetime. Imagine finding one in your drawer today and realizing it could replace your mortgage or your retirement plan. But here's the part that makes people lean in closer. How do you know if the penny sitting in your change jar is the right one? First, look closely. If it's a 2013 Lincoln cent without a mint mark under the date, you may already have a contender. Then, consider the condition. Scratches, wear, and discoloration drastically reduce value. But a coin that has retained its original luster, sharp details, and brilliance could fetch life-changing sums. That's where third-party grading services come in, assigning grades that often make or break fortunes. And here's where excitement meets urgency. Every day, more and more of these coins vanish into private collections. Every year, their scarcity grows. The window of opportunity to stumble upon one before it disappears forever is shrinking. Right now, a handful remains circulating unnoticed, sitting in coffee cans, old wallets, and forgotten coin jars across America. Could be your neighbor, could be you. The real question is, will you bother to check? Of course, some skeptics laugh it off. They say, "Come on, it's just a penny." But isn't that the beauty of it? The very object designed to be the smallest, most forgettable piece of money in your pocket has the power to shock the financial world. Sometimes I wonder what's more surprising, the fact that one of these coins can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, or the idea that most of us have walked past one without ever noticing. And here's a humorous thought. Imagine using one of these rare pennies to pay for a gumball. You'd be trading a life-changing fortune for a piece of candy that loses its flavor in 3 minutes. That's the cruel irony of not knowing what's in your hand. Now let's shift to the bigger picture. Coins like the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny are not just collectibles. They are stepping stones toward financial freedom. They remind us that wealth is not always locked behind iron gates or stock market screens. Sometimes, it jingles softly in your pocket, waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look closer. The reality is this: extraordinary wealth often hides in plain sight, and history has always rewarded those who recognize it before the rest of the world catches on. Every legendary collector, every investor who turned coins into empires, started with one discovery. This penny could be yours. So, before you dismiss your spare change, pause, search, inspect, and if you find that shining 2013 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent in near-perfect condition, don't just shrug and drop it back in the jar. Protect it, grade it, treasure it, because what you hold may not just be a coin. It could be your key to a new chapter in life, a chapter where financial worries fade and opportunity expands. Here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before you go to bed, empty that old coin jar, look through your pocket change, and really examine what you have. You may be holding history. You may be holding freedom. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve, if you want to uncover more hidden treasures and learn how to turn forgotten pennies into extraordinary wealth, make sure you subscribe, because the next story I share could be about the very coin sitting in your hand right now. After all, what's the harm in looking a little closer at the smallest coin in your pocket? It might just be the biggest opportunity of your life. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a coin so ordinary you barely notice it, only to discover that same coin could change your financial future forever. That's the story of the 2017 D. Lincoln penny, a coin most people dismiss as nothing more than loose change, but in reality, some of these tiny copper-plated treasures are selling for extraordinary amounts. One recently valued at over $217,000, and in certain cases, the right variation can push toward the millions. Yes, a single cent that could become the cornerstone of your wealth-building journey. You might be wondering, how can something as small and overlooked as a penny hold the power to rewrite someone's financial story? The answer lies in the fascinating world of minting errors, rare conditions, and collector demand. When you understand the hidden signals and rare quirks that make these coins so valuable, you start realizing just how much opportunity may already be sitting in your jars, drawers, or even your wallet right now. The question is, will you recognize it before someone else does? Let's talk about the 2017 penny itself. At first glance, it's the same Lincoln design you've seen a million times. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, that familiar "In God We Trust," the Denver Mint mark, all the usual details. Yet hidden in this sea of sameness are a select few that stand apart. Coins struck with double dies, off-center minting, or pristine uncirculated condition that defy the odds of time and circulation. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying history, rarity, and the thrill of owning what almost no one else has. That thrill drives up the price, and when demand meets scarcity, numbers soar into the hundreds of thousands. Think about it. How many times have you let a penny slip through your fingers without a second thought? How many small fortunes have been spent in gas station candy machines, slipped into tip jars, or forgotten in couch cushions? It's almost funny, isn't it, how the smallest coin can carry the largest secrets? But here's the part that makes this truly urgent. These coins don't wait around. Once a collector adds one to their collection, it's gone from circulation forever. The window of opportunity narrows every single day. Now, before you assume this is a once-in-a-generation miracle, let me reassure you, it's not. Ordinary people across the country have stumbled upon extraordinary pennies. One man in Texas discovered his coin had a double-die error, and after a careful grading process, it sold for more than most people's yearly salary. Another found a pristine, uncirculated 2017 penny in a roll of coins from the bank and turned it into tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Can you imagine the feeling of finding out the penny you almost spent on a cup of coffee could instead pay for your dream vacation? Or even a down payment on your home? The secret lies in knowing what to look for. Pay attention to Lincoln's features. Are his details crisp, or do they look slightly doubled? Is the penny perfectly centered, or do the edges seem shifted? Even subtle imperfections, when authenticated, can catapult a coin's value into life-changing territory. And if your penny is flawless, untouched by circulation, still gleaming as though it just left the mint, then you may be holding something collectors will fight fiercely to own. Here's where the excitement builds and the stakes become real. The market is hotter than ever for rare pennies, with online auctions and coin shows sparking bidding wars that end in six-figure payouts. Collectors, investors, and wealth seekers alike know that coins are tangible assets, historical, finite, and deeply personal. In times of financial uncertainty, hard assets like rare coins often become even more desirable. That means the 2017 D Lincoln penny isn't just a quirky collector's item. It's a legitimate opportunity to diversify and grow wealth in a way that very few people understand. But let me share a word of caution, because this is where many people make mistakes. Not every 2017 penny will make you rich. In fact, the vast majority are worth exactly 1 cent. The danger lies in assuming all coins are valuable. That's where education, grading, and expert evaluation come in. Sending a potentially rare penny to a professional grading service could be the smartest move you ever make. And yet, here's the twist. Every day, people unknowingly spend away coins that could have transformed their lives simply because they didn't take the time to look. That fear of missing out is real, because someone else will find it if you don't. And this brings us to the ultimate question. What would you do if you discovered your penny was worth $217,000? Would you sell it, invest it, or hold onto it as a piece of history that could grow in value? It's almost overwhelming to think about the possibilities, isn't it? Yet the only way to answer that question for yourself is to start searching, start examining, and start believing that wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. It can come from the very change in your pocket. So as you finish this video, resist the urge to toss aside that handful of coins. Look closely, examine every detail, and remember, opportunity often hides in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary, waiting for the person wise enough to see its true value. If you want to keep learning how to spot these treasures and unlock the hidden wealth already around you, make sure you subscribe and join me for the next discovery. Because the next coin we uncover together could be the one that changes everything. Imagine this. You're holding a coin so small, so ordinary, it could slip between the cushions of your couch and vanish forever. A coin you might have already spent on a pack of gum or tossed into a tip jar without a second thought. But what if I told you that this very coin, the 2018 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark, could secretly be worth not just a few cents, but up to millions of dollars, with a current market value reaching as high as $218,000. Suddenly, that little copper piece doesn't seem so ordinary anymore, does it? The truth is, treasure often hides in plain sight. People think the days of discovering life-changing finds are over, but they're not. They're sitting in your pocket change, waiting quietly at the bottom of old jars, forgotten in dusty drawers. The 2018 D penny is one of those coins. A modern coin, a coin minted in your lifetime, and yet it's already shocking collectors with jaw-dropping sales. That's where our story begins. Now I can already hear your thoughts. The 2018 penny? Really? Something I might have spent at a gas station yesterday? It sounds too good to be true. But here's the twist. Not all 2018 D pennies are worth a fortune. The real value comes from rarity, condition, and sometimes those elusive minting errors that sneak past the machines and end up in circulation. One tiny flaw, a double die, a misaligned strike, even a simple off-center punch, can transform a penny into a golden ticket. And it's that chance, that slim possibility, that has collectors and investors scrambling to track down these coins before everyone else realizes what's happening. Think about it for a moment. If you're in the United States right now, there's a very real chance you've handled one of these pennies in the last week. Could already be in your pocket. Could be sitting in your child's piggy bank. And while you're listening to this, someone else might be digging through their coins, finding the one that could pay off their mortgage. That's the fear, isn't it? Missing out while someone else cashes in. So what makes the 2018 D penny stand out? Beyond the usual factors of rarity and condition, its story is tied to modern demand. Collectors aren't just chasing centuries-old coins anymore. They want pristine examples of today's coins before they disappear into circulation forever. A perfectly preserved, uncirculated 2018 D penny, graded at the highest level, can command breathtaking prices. And those rare error coins? They've shocked the market by selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Proof that even the most recent pocket change can rewrite someone's financial story overnight. But here's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you going to ignore the pennies in your home because they look too new, too common, too boring? Or are you going to flip them over, study them carefully, and look for that hidden flaw that could change everything? Most people won't. Most people will keep walking past fortune. And that's why the few who take this seriously are the ones collecting the rewards. I remember a man once joked to me, "I don't check my coins, I check my lottery tickets." And I laughed. But then I thought about it. The odds of winning the lottery, astronomical. The odds of finding a rare penny, far, far better. Yet most people never even look. Isn't that ironic? Now, before we wrap up, let me leave you with this cliffhanger. Somewhere in America, there's a penny minted in 2018 with the D mark that hasn't been discovered yet. It's sitting quietly in circulation, unnoticed. It could be in the next handful of change you receive. It could be sitting right now in that old coffee can in your garage. Someone, maybe even you, is about to stumble onto a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe even millions. And the only thing standing between you and that possibility is whether you bother to look. So take this as your sign. Go through your coins tonight. Be curious, be meticulous, and be ready for the surprise of your life. Because wealth doesn't always come in the form of a paycheck or an investment portfolio. Sometimes it comes in the form of a penny so ordinary, so overlooked, that the world walks past it. Until one person, just one, takes the time to notice. If you want to stay ahead of the game, if you don't want to miss out on more secrets like this, then make sure you subscribe and join me here. Because the world of rare coins is just beginning to reveal its treasures. And your next discovery could be the one that changes your life forever. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out what looks like an ordinary penny, and realizing you're holding a coin that could change your life. A coin struck in 2020 at the Denver Mint, carrying the tiny D mark most people never notice. 1 cent in your hand. But what if I told you this exact coin has been selling for as much as $220,000? And in some rare cases, experts believe it could be worth millions. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because the truth might shock you. Most people dismiss modern pennies as spare change, something you toss into a jar or drop between the couch cushions. Yet history has proven again and again that wealth doesn't always look like gold bars or stacks of cash. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. This 2020 D Lincoln penny is the perfect example. Certain variations, minting errors, and collector demand have transformed it from a forgettable coin into a modern-day treasure. Imagine the fear of spending one without knowing what you had. The thought of casually handing away your financial breakthrough at a gas station counter. So why is this coin so valuable? The Denver Mint produced billions of 2020 pennies, but a tiny fraction left the mint with errors that collectors obsess over. Double die strikes, misaligned lettering, and even subtle imperfections on Lincoln's portrait can catapult the value sky high. Think of it like a lottery ticket hidden inside a penny roll. 99% are just pennies. But that one could buy you a house, pay off debts, or even set up your retirement. Wouldn't you at least want to know if you're holding the right one? Collectors will pay astonishing sums for rarity, and here's where things get exciting. Auction houses have seen bids climb beyond $200,000 for certain 2020 D Lincoln cents. Some experts project even higher values in private sales. That's why you'll hear whispers in the numismatic community that this coin's potential runs well into the millions. Now imagine someone unknowingly sliding that coin into a vending machine. It's both tragic and strangely funny. The machine gets rich while the owner loses out. If you're wondering how to tell if you've struck gold or copper, in this case, the signs are subtle but powerful. Look carefully for doubled letters in God We Trust or Liberty. Check Lincoln's eye and beard for signs of doubling. Even the tiniest mark of misalignment can mean the difference between 1 cent and life-changing wealth. And don't ignore the condition. A coin in pristine, uncirculated shape could skyrocket in value. That's where professional grading comes in, turning a coin from maybe interesting into certified treasure. But here's the catch. You're not the only one hunting. Collectors, dealers, and treasure seekers across the country are combing through penny rolls, coin jars, and collections with laser focus. Every day you wait, the best finds slip further into private hands, out of reach. Fear of missing out isn't just a feeling, it's a reality in coin collecting. Once the rarest coins are bought up, prices only climb higher. The urgency is real, because you may already have this penny sitting unnoticed in your home right now. Picture yourself discovering one. The weight of possibility in your palm. The realization that something so small could rewrite your future. It's not just about money. It's about the thrill of finding what others missed. The pride in knowing you saw value where others only saw pocket change. And yes, it's about that rush of adrenaline when the appraisal confirms what you hoped, that you just found your hidden fortune. And think about this, what would you do with $220,000? Would you pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Build that business you've always dreamed about? Or would you hold the coin longer, gambling that its value could rise even higher in the years to come? These aren't just coins. They're opportunities disguised as copper-plated zinc dust. So here's the cliffhanger you can't ignore. Do you already own one? That jar of change in your kitchen? That box in your attic? It could be your ticket to freedom. Every day people discover coins they never knew were valuable. And every day someone else unknowingly spends theirs away. The difference comes down to knowledge, awareness, and action. Don't let your chance slip by. Take the time to look, to study, to learn. And if you're serious about uncovering more treasures hiding in plain sight, make sure you're subscribed here. Because the next coin we uncover could be sitting in your pocket right now, and you don't want to miss it.